From Kentucky, Mr. Barr.
I move to strike the last word.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Mr. Flood for his leadership on this issue, and I associate my remarks with the comments of Mr. Flood, Mr. Emmer, and Mr. Nickel. SAB 121 upends decades of precedent regarding the accounting treatment of custodial assets for banks. Federal Reserve Board Chair Powell, as already noted, stated in testimony that SAB 121 shifts us away from traditional custodial practices, emphasizing that custodial assets receive off-balance sheet accounting treatment. In theory, under SAB 121, a bank could custody digital assets. However, the conditions set forth by SAB 121 make it totally impractical for any bank. Currently, if a bank decides to custody digital assets and adhere to SAB 121, the on-balance sheet requirement would have significant knock-on effects on capital, liquidity, and other prudential requirements. Given the pendency of the onerous Basel III endgame proposal, this would further disincentivize financial institutions from taking on this additional liability. Effectively, this makes it difficult for the regulated institutions to provide custodial services for digital assets, even though they would have to receive permission from the regulator first. The fact is, the technological, legal, and regulatory risks cited in SAB 121 are addressed by the legal and regulatory framework that applies to banks' custodial activities. SAB 121 should have accounted for that. However, the SEC did not consult with any of the prudential regulators before issuing this guidance. Unfortunately, the failure to consult the regulators overseeing the varying institutions that are largely impacted by an SEC proposal has become quite common under Chair Gensler. The SEC does not have the expertise to assess the same risks as the prudential regulators and should not be in the business of proposing shoddy rulemakings and guidance that may have major implications to the functioning of our financial institutions and ultimately the safety and soundness of our financial system. Bottom line, it makes little sense to discourage well-regulated financial institutions from providing custodial services to crypto users, investors, and owners of digital assets. The ranking member commented on FTX, and we all want to avoid another FTX. But SAB 121 will produce more FTX scenarios because it will push innovation and custody of digital assets offshore, compromising American competitiveness. And yes, SAB 21 will actually undermine investor protection for this very reason. We have an opportunity to right the ship. We must ensure the proper regulators are being consulted on issues so that the cumulative effect of proposals and guidance are understood. Goodness sakes, let's not discourage well-regulated financial institutions from providing the protections that crypto investors deserve. I'd like once again to thank Mr. Flood and Mr. Nickel for their leadership on this issue and urge all my colleagues to support the resolution. And with that, I yield back.